5 options for winter. A few of these are pretty cheap and a couple are a little bit more expensive. However, we have 5 fragrances on this list that will be great for the winter and the cold weather. So if it's cold where you are currently, I feel like these 5 options will be great. So let's get into it. This first fragrance is from Frank Oliver and it's called Oud Touch, and this is an eau de parfum that you can find for $22. Just judging by the name, it does contain oud. However, it's not that animalic oud, almost like a very light yet sweet oud. So it's definitely got that Middle Eastern vibe to it, which if you like that, it's great. And it's a great fragrance that has amber, frankincense, rose, patchouli, oud as well. But the oud, again, is not a funky type of oud. It's very pleasant and something that potentially anybody may like, even if you're not a fan of oud. And it does remind me, and according to other votes on Fragrantica, it also reminds people of Oud Esfahan from Dior's private collection. So this fragrance is one that will get you Oud Esfahan for only $22. It's long lasting and projects really well. The only downside to it for me is that when I first smelt it, it kind of smelled like mothballs. So now anytime I first smell it, it kind of gives me that every time. That's why I kind of don't enjoy it. But when it dries down, that scent has kind of gone away and it's become more of a amber frankincense. So it's like almost like sweetness burning or amber burning. It's kind of what it smells like. So this is a great fragrance and also a very cheap one. Next up, this one ain't so cheap, but it is very good for the winter. This is Amouage Fate Man. It's got a really nice coloration there, as you can see. This fragrance is a heavy fragrance in the warm and spicy department. It's got amber in it. It's got some cumin and some incense, or cumin, however you say it. And it's also got this interesting flower note that's called Immortal, I think is how you pronounce it. But what that is reminiscent of is sort of like a tobacco or a hay smell. It is a very heavy and dark fragrance, this one. So it's not kind of like how it looks. It's kind of the opposite. It's kind of dark, but it is, if you like that kind of stuff, it's very well worth it. It lasts a long time and I'd highly recommend it. However, this is a 50 ml bottle, but it was $87. So if money is an issue for you, I would recommend some of the other ones, and also Oud Touch as well. Next up, we got Secret Temptation by Antonio Banderas. This fragrance is a peppery, woody, vanilla, kind of fresh spicy. So it is more of the pleasant type of smell that you would rock in the winter. The only downside to this is that it wouldn't last that long on me. But it's only $25 and you get a nice peppery, sweet fragrance to wear in the winter. And if you're looking for a fragrance that's easy to wear, not too much thought and not too heavy, then I would recommend rocking this one for the winter. Next up, we got Banana Republic Tobacco and Tonka Bean. Now, this fragrance is a beautiful plum top fragrance. So it starts off with a lot of plum. It's kind of sweet in the opening. And the price on this one could either be $25 or upwards of $50. Now, the difference comes from if you find it in a store like Burlington or TJ Maxx or Ross, those kind of stores. If you find it in that, you'll probably find it for around $23, $25. However, if you want to buy it online, it's going to be upwards of $50. So that's the only downside to this. So if you don't have those stores near you or just can't find it anywhere around, then it's going to be about $50, which may put this out of budget for some people. However, I think it's still kind of worth it for a $50 range, but there is also a lot of options to get in that kind of range. As the name implies, tobacco and tonka bean, this one's got those notes in there. However, the tobacco is not too heavy. It's actually more of the plum and vanilla and tonka bean mixture that kind of drives this fragrance home. It's got long-lasting performance and it's got good sillage, and overall it's a very nice and unique fragrance to wear in the winter. And if you can find it for 25 bucks, I would definitely grab it. It's probably going to be one of your best buys of the year, because it is definitely one of my best buys of last year. Actually, I got this. Banana Republic Tobacco and Tonka Bean is number 2. And we're moving on to the number 1. The number 1 is Halloween Man Shot. And this one is a warm, spicy iris vanilla fragrance. It's not too much of any heaviness. It's more actually of a light iris and sweet fragrance. Not too heavy in the leather direction, even though it has leather in it. People do say, just from other comments I've seen on this fragrance, that it smells kind of like Mont Blanc Legend Night. And I kind of do see that, and I kind of see that this one's a bit lighter than that one. So if you're looking for something similar to this, but you want a little bit more, oomph in it, then I would recommend getting Mont Blanc Legend Night. However, I don't have that fragrance, but I have tried it, and it does smell similar to this one. It's just this one kind of does it a bit more smoothly. If you like lighter fragrances, then you'll probably like this one better. If you wanted this fragrance but in a heavier form, then I would recommend getting Mont Blanc Legend Night. This fragrance has got iris, vanilla, cardamom, but it also has an interesting note of daiquiri. And daiquiri is an alcoholic drink, but it's also what adds to this fragrance kind of like a layer of like citrus. I think mellows down everything. Because I can kind of smell the leather, I can kind of smell the vanilla, I can kind of smell the iris, but I can only kind of smell them. And I feel like the thing that's kind of making everything super light is probably the daiquiri. It's kind of neutralizing everything. It's not too heavy, it's actually kind of pleasant for the notes it has. If you don't like iris, I would still probably check this out, just in case, because it doesn't have iris too heavy in it. It's more actually vanilla, and a slight amount of like this leather, but very slight amount of leather. The best part about this fragrance is that it's only $25, so just in my opinion, I believe that it's a really good buy for that price range and will serve you well in the winter.